Good evening, my friends. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. My friends, I have 3 boxes to share with you tonight. We're also going to talk about that lawsuit that CGC was involved with a few weeks back. I never really gave my 2 cents on that. I thought I'd come on here and talk about that. I'm curious to know what you think about it as well, too. Guys, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized CGC dealer located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And like I said, this is a live CGC unboxing. Just making sure that my my stream is working here because I am seeing all kinds of issues. Okay, there it is. I think I'm back. Okay, weird. Guys, again, 3 boxes, a whole bunch of boxes came back this week. I got so much to share with you. I'm so overwhelmed, and I'm still trying to get out books back to CGC right now. All I've been doing for the last few days is filling out CGC forms. For books that are still here, that are still outstanding, they got to send to CGC. Oh, have you heard? I'm going to be at Fan Expo next week. That's right, guys. If you are going to be at Fan Expo and you're a fan of the channel and you've never met me, come on by and say hello. I'd love to meet you at Fan Expo. I'm also going to be taking books at Fan Expo for grading and for pressing as well, too. So if you have books you'd like to drop off at Fan Expo, you certainly can do so. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, I'm a signature series facilitator. So if there's any books that you would like to have signed by one of the talents that are coming to CGC, or sorry, to Fan Expo, I can help you with that as well too. I encourage you to walk on over to my YouTube, my website and check out. I have a little blurb there under the signature series banner. And last night I actually posted a video and I kind of went over some of the different stars that are going to be appearing at the show and kind of give you the 1-2 on how to do it all. So if you want to check those out, you may. I notice here Gord said he hates the ads, and I got a feeling it was the ads that are causing me grief here, guys. So I do apologize for that. Okay, let's get started. 3 boxes to go. So let's get started with the first box. We start off with some Silver Age Spider-Man. We all love Silver Age Spider-Man, don't we? Where is it? The overhead cam. There it is. We start with a Spider-Man number 99 and an 8.5. I don't know how high I can go with this stack, my friends, because this camera was giving me issues and I had to readjust it. I think I won't get too high here. Number 89 and a 6.0. Well, I'll probably get 5 or 6. We have an 88 and an 8.0. Right there. Oh, and by the way, if you're new here and you want to participate in our chat, you want to talk to me or to any of the other people here at the chat, hit that subscribe button, my friend. You can participate in our chat. If you have any questions pertaining to comic book collecting, grading, pressing, whatever you might have, you can ask those questions free of charge right here. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have, but you have to subscribe to do so. And okay, we have an 8.0 copy of number 87. Nice 9.4 copy of number 98. That's a nice high grade right there. Now the stack is getting high. Now this is a full box. I have a feeling this is one of this is Mike's books, I believe. I think. Are these your books, Mike? I think they are. He said almost 100 Amazing Spider-Man books under issue 100. And I think this is the first box to come back. We also have a number 97 and a 7.0 right there. And what I will do now is I will put that over there. I will pack these up and go to the chat room, see who's here today. Chat window. Let's see. Louis was the first one here. Louis Mendoza. Yo, yo, yo. What's up with you, my friend? David Dryden's here. My first package arrived at Doc's today. Excited to see what the Maestro can do. David, yes, we got a whole bunch of stuffs today. I got a bunch of books in the mail today. Everyone is taking advantage of the signature series opportunities that are upon us. David, yeah, the book did arrive. Gord's here. Hello, Gord. John Sherwood's in the house. How you doing, John? Gord was talking about the ads, and I think it was the ads that were kind of giving me a little bit of grief. I got to turn those off. Eric McGowan, how are you, Eric? Good to see you. David's in here, too. How you doing, Dave? Adam Donnelly, how are you, sir? And of course, Mark, TMNT, good luck. Bring on my last Ronin. Hey, Kevin, how you doing, Mark? I don't know if they're here. I haven't even opened the other, well, I opened the boxes. I haven't looked inside. I have another box of, I've got 2 big boxes. When I have the bigger boxes, CGC sends 2 different sizes. The comic book size for comic books, and they send the magazine size for magazines and comic books. So when I see those big ones, there's a good chance that some magazines are in there, or in your case, The Last Ronin, but I can't be sure. I'm not sure what's in there. So don't get too excited, because you know what, Mark? It might not be here. JSS Brooklyn is here. Good evening, everyone. Glad to join in. JSS Brooklyn, welcome. It's a new name. I haven't seen you around before. Rock City's in the house. How you doing, Rock City? Good to see you. So we're now on box number 1 again, guys. These are a lot of Amazing Spider-Man books. If you're an amazing, oh wow, another good one. If you're an Amazing Spider-Man fan, you don't want to go anywhere. We have an Amazing Spider-Man number 92 in a 9.0. I'll go back to the overhead cam. Bang, there it is. We also have a 6.5 copy of number 91. And as you know, I am checking for any cracks that might be on the slabs, because if there are cracks, as I said before, I only have 14 days to report these. If I don't report them, I'm on the hook to get them fixed. All right. We got an ASM number 90 and a 6.0. Now, if these are Mike's books, these came from a one-owner collection. We got a 7.5 copy of ASM 94. We have an ASM 93 in a 9.2. We have an 8.5 copy of ASM number 96. Let me get that in there. Trying to cover up that black area there. Oh, come on. Let me try to move the camera more. No, that's not going to work. Sorry, guys. Trying to fix a display here. Let me just get rid of these guys because it's too heavy. And we also have an ASM, another nice 9.0, and a number 95 right there. Okay, let me go back to the chat while I pack these 6 or so up. And Eric's here. Eric says, going to Fan Expo Chicago on Friday. Hoping to get my X-Men 24 signed by Andy Kubert. That's pretty cool. It is. Hey, guys, it's con season. Now is the time. I guess they start winding down in after September. You know, the big ones, the big ones. I think it ends with New York Comic Con in October, which I am, guys, I don't know. I put in a request and an application to do a panel at New York Comic Con. I'm just curious to see if what would happen. I put it in, and we will see. Spidey Guy Murph says, look at all the ASM eye candy. We've got another 10 or so for you, so don't go anywhere if you like Spider-Man books. I'm going to try to fix this display here. Why is this doing this to me here? Hold on a sec, guys. I'm going to try to... There we go. Fixed it. Spiro. Hey, Doc. Spiro was in my shop today. Spiro drove in from Belleville. Hey, Doc. It's about 45 minutes east of here. It's funny. I get guys, you know, calling up from Toronto, and they ask, where are you located? I said, I'm in Oshawa. Oh my gosh, you're in Oshawa. And honestly, Oshawa is about, from like downtown Toronto, if there's no traffic, and that's the big thing, if there's no traffic, from downtown Toronto to Oshawa is probably about a 40-minute drive with no traffic. With traffic, it can be a little onerous. But anyways, Toronto in general, to get here is about let's say an hour, you know? And I got guys from Toronto calling me up saying, oh, you're all the way in Oshawa. I'm like, man, I got guys driving in from Kingston, which is like 2 hours east. And I got guys driving in from the West End 2-3 hours. And so when they complain about driving an hour, I chuckled to myself because I'm not that far. I'm actually really close. Okay. What else do we have here? So yes, and Spiro asks if he can request the J. Scott Campbell custom label. Can we add that on, please? Yeah, I'll try to remember. Feel free to send me some more texts on that. When I'm in the shop, I'll write it on your form. It's not a problem. I guess they don't come automatic, do they? All right, let's keep going. I've got a bunch more to share with you. This, again, I've always said this, one of my favorite ASM covers, Romita, because this is one of the first comics I had. There's a few comics that I had that were the first, and this is one of the books that were most of my brother's collections, that not this actual copy, obviously, but this is a book that is dear to me. I'm going to find a nice high-grade copy, like an 8.5 would be nice. Copy in a white page are beautiful. I love the Human Torch and Lizard cover. We've got number 76 in a 7.5. We have a 7.0 in number 75. Another 6 books, guys. If you're just getting here now, hit that like button and sit back and relax. This is box number 1. It's a full box of Silver Age Amazing Spider-Man. If you're just getting here now and you like your Spider-Man, go back and rewind. Okay, we have a number 83 and a 7.5. We also have another 9.0, and it's number 82, also a white pager. Now, if I understand correctly, these were not necessarily bought off the shelf by the original owner, but he compiled them over the 1970s and 1980s and 1990s, I believe. So you have a variety of grades here. We've got a 9.2 copy, number 81, really nice. When you're getting 9 and above on these babies, actually 8 and above, I'd be happy with in my own personal collection. That's it for box number 1. Make room for the other ones. We'll do box number 2, and then we'll chit-chat about that whole lawsuit thing. I'll give you my 2 cents worth, and I'm curious to know what your 2 cents worth is as well. Roxy says, LOL, I drove 2 hours one way to be on a boarded my new job today. Oh, really? There you go. So, yeah, people, 2 hours is not bad. 12 liters of glass each way. 16 liters. Wow. Let's see, 2 hours. 2 hour commutes long, man. 2 hour. I used to commute when I first started teaching. I had a job out in Pickering, which is not very far from here. It's a lot worse now because the traffic has gotten increasingly bad in the Toronto and the GTA. But when I was back in the late 90s, it was still a good, close to an hour to get to work, and an hour was really bad. So when I got the job in Whitby, which is like really right just next door, and I was driving 10 minutes to work, that was pretty awesome. The funny thing is, the school I work at now was 10 minutes to get to. Now that's increased. The traffic is getting worse and worse. It's probably a 20 minute drive now, 22-minute drive from my work to my home, because traffic has just gotten really, really bad. Okay, so that's box number 1. That'll be an easy box to sort because there's only one invoice. All right, let's go on to box number 2. I'll push this baby away here. The last box is all magazines, I think. The first box I'm going to show you with magazines is a combination. It's mostly comics, to be honest. And here we go. All right, so we had our thumbnail. We saw our thumbnail. It was the thumbnail was Tomb of Dracula 10. Well, here it is in a 6.0 right there. We got a first appearance of, a first appearance of Galactus and Silver Surfer. Fantastic 448 in a 5.5. We have, guys, I've been seeing this a little more frequently lately, which is fantastic. Amazing Spider-Man 300. That's a nice copy. In a 9.8. I think I submitted the nicest ASM 300s I've ever seen today, and they're gorgeous. Like 9.9 contenders. They're not going to get 9.9, but boy, oh boy, they were beautiful books. So we got a couple of nice ones here. What else we have? We also have another 9.8. Oh, sweet. Oh, look at this. Whose books are these? Oh boy, look at this. And okay, I gotta just show you. 9.8 Man Thing. Number 17. Look at that, guys. White pager. These Logan's books? I don't remember whose books these are. But wow. Wow. Gorgeous book. Let's keep going. We have a signature series book. This here belongs to Luke, I believe, because it's signed by Tatiana Maslany. This here is She-Hulk number 12. And again, guys, this was signed in Sarasota, right? Like I said last night, if you watch my video, and if you haven't watched my video, go on over and check it out. It's not very long. It's like 20 minutes or so. CGC in Sarasota oftentimes has special in-house signing events, and they did that with Tatiana Maslany. Pretty much the first actress to ever play the She-Hulk, and yeah, not bad. 9.8 white pager. Not bad at all. And another one here, too. What do we got here? Ultimate Spider-Man number 1, Scotty Young authenticated, also in a 9.8. And I'm running out of room there. There it is. And they even sent the certificate of authenticity back, so I'll give that to the owners. So if they want to keep that, they can. Pretty cool. I just got to make sure I don't mix up these. Yeah, I don't want to mix these babies up. All right. That's cool. Let's go over to the chat. Very nice. Some really nice ones there, guys. I'll leave the comics on while I go to the chat so you can see them again as I zoom out. Good thing I live 7 minutes away. You're close, buddy. Brouhaha, how's it going, man? David's here. I roll out of bed and log in to work. Nice. Well, yeah, you're one of those lucky few who can work from home, eh? Ooh, nice. Tatiana Sig. Yes. Dan is here. I can't remember where I saw, but there are a bunch of 9.8 ASM 300s that were just added to the census. I wouldn't be surprised. I've been seeing them a lot more lately. Mark says, Scribblefest. Scotty Young, I noticed, is on your list of CGC signature series. Would he be doing sketches too, or is it just a signature? If he is in Sarasota, he may do a remark as well. And a remark is not a sketch. A remark is a very quick sketch. So if you go over to the CGC website and go to signature series and look up upcoming talent or whatever, or signing opportunities, click on that little box where Scotty Young's name is, and it'll tell you the cost. And if he is doing remarks, there'll be a cost for that as well. All right. Okay, let's put these babies away. What else? That's it. Okay, that's cool. 41 people here, only 14 likes. What am I doing wrong, guys? I don't know. Please hit that like button. It does help my analytics a lot, and it just takes you 2 seconds to do that. So hit that like button and help the old doctor out. I'd certainly appreciate it. It has been a heck of a day, boy. It's been a very, very busy day. I don't know where the rest of those man things are. They got to be in here. Oh, they are in there too. I don't have a clue what the grades of those man things are. I'm blind. I can't see them that good, but I hope there's some more 9.8s in there, because I love seeing those Bronze Age books in 9.8, man. I love it, because you know what? They're not easy to come by. They're not easy to come by. And when you find really high quality, and I was talking to Spiro and Phil about this today when they came to the shop. I told them, I said, people are always going looking for those the high-end grails, but I go, honestly, if you search for those more run books from the Bronze Age, whether it be Iron Man or Man Thing or Ghost Rider, and I'm not talking number 1, even if just oddball numbers, if they are 9.8 white pagers, they are worth probably $300 to $400 on their own, and you can usually pick them up for a song. But the trick is having the eye to find those 9.8s or those 9.8 contenders, books that with the press could get there or already look fantastic. I mean, that's the trick, right? All right, let's keep going. All right, what else we got here? We have another J. Scott Campbell JSA book, and you're probably going to start noticing a lot more JSA. Okay, this one here belongs to, these are Mike's books now. This is Mike's book, Mike from Calgary. Here you go, Mike. Right there. He's been waiting for that one very patiently. And again, they returned the authentic, the blah 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 blah. They sent back the certificate of authenticity. These are all, I believe, his books. This year is a grade bump, if I remember correctly. Iron Man number 55, I believe, bumped from a 6.5 or a 7. I can't remember exactly. Maybe a 7.5. I don't remember. And then we have a 9.6 copy of ASM 300. And I believe this was a bump as well. Yes, this was a bump as well for Mike. This might have been like a 9 or an 8.5 or something, or a 9.2. Don't worry. I'll post the pictures on Instagram. And you'll see it for yourself soon enough. So congrats, Mike, on that. Now, Mike was one of those, I told you that story with Mike, and I felt so bad for Mike. He shipped all these books to me, these slab books, hoping there'd be some fun there, some CPR possibilities. I ended up, I think it was 17 books he sent. I shipped like 13 or 14 of them back to him. I felt so bad. I said, but Mike, these are not, I don't want to crack those out. I don't think we're going to have a lot of luck with those. So, but I'll tell you, man, I tell people, I'm not here to take, I'm here to take your money. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to take your money in such a way. I want to be honest about things. And if I don't feel that cracking a book is going to be in your best interest, then your best interest trumps my doing the work. You know what I mean? It makes sense. So I sent the books back. I think he was kind of like, oh, really? And the ones I kept, this being one of them, as well as the Iron Man 55. I was very nervous about cracking it, and when I was pretty confident with the Spider-Man book, this one here, but the other one I cracked, and I'm like, oh, maybe I made a mistake. But luckily, they all went up, so I was very, very happy. Congrats, Mike. All right, let's keep going. I'm not sure who this belongs to. Oh, wow. So excited. Don't go anywhere. Watch this. All right, Star Wars 48, 9/8, white page. That's great, too. That's very nice. But here we go. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We like the yellow label, don't we? I really like the gold label, the pedigree label, the Sasha collection, right? The Susha News, I'm pronouncing it, the Susha News collection, 9.8 white page. Look how pretty that friggin' book is. Wow. Oh boy, I think I ran out of room. I'm gonna have to pack these up. I run out of room. Okay. Wow. Questions. Rock City says, doubt remarks from Scotty would add much value, but I might do it for my last Padawan number 1. Okay. Luke, how you doing? One of your books has come, Luke. I think you've seen it. The Ancient Duelist says, hey, Doc, are these the Montreal ones? Montreal books are on their way back. They could be actually here. I don't think they're in tonight's unboxing, though. If I have time, guys, I'll do another unboxing on Thursday night if I have time. I have to ship books back to people. That's going to take me forever. But I did see, I believe all of the Montreal books are on their way back, or they are here as we speak. So make sure you tune in. Ancient Duelist, are you one of my friends from Montreal? Because, yeah. That'd be cool. Signpost. Wow, love the label. You and me both, man. I love that label. Eric McGowan says, those Man-Thing books are a thing of beauty, Eric. I would have to agree with you. Then there's more there. I hope there's some more 9/8s. I'm not looking on purpose. I'm kind of putting these back in the box very, just kind of staying back so I don't see them. I love being surprised by it. Man, if they're all 9/8s, I'll be really, really happy. Those books look awesome. Tell me about it. Derek Kyoto. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Thanks for taking care of me last weekend in the shop. Derek, thanks for your patience. Derek came to the shop unannounced on Saturday. As you know, guys, when you're coming into the shop to pick up books or whatever, if you want to look over orders or do pre-screening, you make an appointment. So I know you're coming, especially if you've already got books there, because Derek came and it kind of caught me kind of off balance there, and I couldn't find his books at first, and then I realized where they were. I couldn't find his order form, but then I did find it. Yeah. So anyway, Derek, it all worked out, my friend. Thank you and your books are almost done. We're almost done. So don't worry about it. And by the way, Derek has the most amazing Masters of the Universe collection. I'm still asking him to give me his address, because no, there's some beautiful items in his collection. That'd be a cool video to go over to Derek's house and show you around his collection, because it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Okay, last 3 Man-Thing books. I haven't looked at them yet. Let's see. I'm gonna look at them together at the same time. Let's see, what is it? Is it a 9/8? I hope. Okay, let's see. I don't know. I haven't looked at this book yet. Boom! Another one. That's nice. Now I haven't checked these slabs out yet, so I have to check these slabs out when I'm done. Okay, it's 198. Here's another one. The last 3. Last 3. Oh yes. That's an off-white pager though. That's not a white pager. Now there's one more in my hand here. One more Man-Thing. We've had all 9/8 so far. Now usually it's CGC's. What's the word I'm looking for? This book's gonna be a 9/6, right? Would they give them all 9/8? Would they? Well, let's find out. Because to me, if I know CGC, they like to break your heart a little bit at the end there. Am I wrong? I'm wrong. All 9/8. Wow, that's awesome. I can't remember the story of these Man-Things. I don't remember if they were previously slabbed. I don't remember. I think they were all just raw. These were all bought at auction, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I think we pressed them and we sent them off and bought a big. Now they were nice to begin with. Don't get me wrong, but they all had little, you know, tweaking to do. Gorgeous books. Wow. Now I gotta check the slabs, make sure there's no cracks, and it looks like they're beautiful, beautiful books. Wow. There could be some of these highest in the census right now too, possibly. Wow, wow, wow. Gord says, hey, Doc, completely off topic, what Star Wars collectibles are you into? I am into, when it comes to Star Wars, I thought that off-white pages would cost you a point. It doesn't cost you a point, but understand something. Off-white pages, I think brittle pages will cost you, like if you get a book that's like got cream page, I've actually seen books with cream pages in 9/8. It costs you a point if it's like brittle, I think. That being said, off-white pages for a 9/8, you know, you don't get top dollar for that. Like the people that are at that level, they're scrutinizing the books that much. So if you've got an off-white page quality on a book in a 9/8 from this time period, they're going to take that into consideration, right? That's certainly going to take it into consideration. Bad Armor, they were off-white to white, not off-white. Were they? So they're off-white to white. So they're not off-white completely. But the answer, I didn't forget your question, Gord. Star Wars toys. I love my Star Wars toys. So basically, anything from the 1970s, Star Wars, early 80s, I'm totally into. I got to really restrict what I buy because I sometimes get a little bit carried away. You know, I have all the action figures right there. Again, it was my hopes this year to redo this whole room for you guys. It's going to happen at some point, and I'm going to put a lot of my stuff on display. But all the toys that came out in the late 70s, early 80s, I'm totally into. I'm not so much into the ships and things like that because they take up so much room. The action figures are kind of what I'm into the most when I collect now. I'm actually starting to move into the droids figures and the Ewoks figures from the TV series. Even though I didn't play with those, I didn't buy those as a kid. They are kind of by extension a part of the Kenner line. So I've started to pick those up slowly if I get good deals on them. I got a Mark Hamill autographed picture right here. If it's cool and it's Star Wars, I'm into it. That's pretty much how I would say it. Are you into Star Wars collecting too? Rock City says, well, if they're off-white, they were stored not optimal. But who cares if it's in the slab and the front and back present well? That's where I think you can find value. It's a gorgeous book. Mark Scribblefest says, how on earth do you get a gold label like that? He is talking about... Mark is talking about the pedigree. This is a pedigree label. I'm not going to go into what a pedigree is here right now, but I encourage you to go over to the CGC website and type in pedigree, and they'll talk about what a pedigree is and what pedigrees are recognized by CGC. I can tell you this book came to me raw, and it was sold as a part of that pedigree. And so when I submitted it, I indicated it was a part of the pedigree. That being said, even if I did not indicate it was a part of that pedigree, CGC should be able to recognize the graders, if they're on the ball, should recognize the pedigree regardless. Funny story, a few months ago, I did a book for one of my clients, a very big Matt Baker book. I think it was huge, very valuable book. And it was a part of a pedigree too. And when I sent it in, I forgot to write down it was a part of the pedigree. So when I met the client, he was upset with me because, oh, you should have told them, they're gonna know, they're not gonna, if they miss it, I'm gonna be very angry. Anyways, long story short, it came back and they caught it. They caught it that it was a part of the pedigree he wanted. So he was very, very happy. And I was actually quite impressed because they actually caught it without me telling them about it. So it's a real thing, right? Basically, pedigree books have little indicators on the books themselves, which will give the grader kind of clues that it's a part of a particular pedigree. But again, if you want more information on what a pedigree is, I'm sure there's a ton of YouTube channels that will talk about it. But if you want an easier way to figure it out, just go over to the CGC website and type in pedigree in the search option, and it'll all come up. Pokemon Catcher, how are you, buddy? Thanks for coming. You're a new face here in the crowd. Where you, Pokemon Catcher? Where are you watching us from? Great comics, no doubt. Rock City says, Express, I agree with you. Normally, pedigree stuff has identifying markings. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Okay, this box I said had magazines. Here we go. We're going into magazines now, and we do. All right, let's go with this one here. We'll do a signature series first. This is one of Luke's too. So I think Luke's out there still. This is a sign by Orlando Bloom. Where did he sign? I don't see it. Oh, there, right there. Signed by Orlando Bloom from Lord of the Rings, and it's 7.0. And his signature's right down there, as you can see. Again, this was one of those opportunities at CGC head office to have a signing done. Someone like a Robert Downey Jr., Orlando Bloom, some of these people are not going to come to your normal, fan expo. And so they organize these events at CGC. And again, if you want to see who's coming to CGC right now, again, go to their website, go to Signature Series, and you'll see who's coming up. They're all pretty much artists or writers there right now. There's no big movie stars planned as of right now, but believe me, that will change. They do bring a lot of Hollywood talent to CGC in Sarasota to sign as well. And John Carpenter, as I said, was just there. So it can happen. All right, let's keep going. We have, okay, this is cool. I think one of these might be yours, John. Is this, no, was it? Let's see. No. John, sure, I thought it was yours, but it's not, because you have a magazine coming back too. Here's the McLean's Hunter Publishing. And Mark, don't go anywhere. I saw some TMNT books in there. Don't go anywhere. I saw some TMNT books. McLean's from 1997 Princess Diana tribute. Oh, shit. Can't see the books. That's right, you can't. Here's the Princess Diana tribute right there. Sorry, guys. And it's 7.5. I'll let you see that for a second, then I'll get rid of that and here's the Orlando Bloom book right there. Sorry, Lord of the Rings. And there's his signature right down there. Okay, and there again is the Princess Diana. That's what happens when I don't have someone running my tech for me, guys. I'm doing it all myself. We also have a TMNT book. This is another third, seeing a lot of third printings coming in. This one here is in a 7 point, I'm gonna go like this because we're running out of room. A 7.5. Right there. We also have all right, here we go. We have a TMNT again, and I don't know if this is yours, Mark. I don't know if this is yours, but it's a TMNT Ronin number 3, a variant cover in a 9.8. Right there. And the reason, is that yours? I don't know if that's yours or not, because that, come here. It might be. It might be. We also, I won't know for sure. We also have a World Wrestling Federation magazine, trading card insert, Mankind poster, and a 5.5 with Bart Simpson on the front cover. Okay. Now, Kevin, will these books be ready for Saturday? I'm going to try. Whatever you're seeing today, guys, I'm going to have them sorted hopefully tomorrow, perhaps on Thursday, and then I'll contact you via text. Please don't call me. Like the old adage says, don't call me, I'll call you. Once the orders are organized, I will contact you for an appointment. Please don't call me for an appointment. Let me call you first. Once I call you, that means the books are ready for you. Okay, that'd be certainly appreciated. Okay, what else? We got more. We got a whole other box of magazines, guys. Let me put these babies away. Gord says, yes, I am, but toned it down now. I think we're all starting to tone it down a little bit, you know. Our habits, our addiction to collecting can sometimes get us a little carried away, can it not? And yeah, it can be a little bit hair-raising, you know. The amount of things we buy. I sometimes go on spending sprees, and I'm like, why did I just do that? Why did I spend all that money on these things? But I know it's going to take me forever to sell them or organize them, or I'll probably never look at them. What was I thinking? You know, for me, when I see a good deal, I can't resist. Did I sell one already? Oh, there's another TMNT Ronin book. Maybe these are yours. I don't know. Here's another one. This is another 9.8 right here. That one was kind of hiding. Do those look like yours, Mark? They could very well be. I just don't want to guarantee anything because you know what? I don't want to get your hopes up and then quash your hopes in case it's not, right? All right. We got box number 3 coming up. It's a full box of magazines, comic-related magazines. I don't believe there's many sports magazines. It could be. It's certainly the right size. Let me just push this huge box. They're so freaking... These magazine boxes are not light. And before we get to that, though... all right. Marvel previews from the 70s. Pretty cool. Rock City says, does that mean we can't set up an appointment for you to give your opinion in person of what we have? No, of course you can. You can always set up an appointment to come and see me on Saturday, 100%. But what I'm saying is if you have books that are, if you see books that are coming back that you think are yours, just please wait till I'll contact you. But if you want to come to my shop to show me books or to you want me to pre-screen books for you, no, you can always make an appointment for that. That's not a problem. It's just that I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to get everything organized in an orderly fashion, right? When you start jumping the gun and taking things out, moving things, that's when things get mixed up, but I don't want to do that. I like to keep everything organized. Luke asks a very good question. Can you retain the yellow label if I get John Rhys Davies on it? Okay, let me show you guys. So, where is it? No, I already moved it. So the Orlando Bloom book that Luke has, he just asked a question. Now, what if he gets John Rhys Davies to sign it? So can he retain that label? Yes, you can. Because I'm a facilitator, I can crack that out of there, and I can take that book and have John Rhys Davies sign it. And yes, I can resubmit it, and you will retain the yellow label. That is not a problem if you want to do that. Not a bad idea, actually. He is getting a little older now. Adam says, any word on my 2 books out on signature authentication? Batman 608 and X-Men 111 dropped off May 16. They are on their way to CGC. I just packed those up yesterday, actually, Adam. My vacation kind of slowed me down a little bit there. So yeah, I'm really behind. I'm going to be honest. I'm about probably 2.5, actually about 3 weeks behind on CGC, like sending the books to CGC. I just packed about 200 books up over the last couple of days. and now I will do maybe more than that, actually. I have another 200 or 300 to send. I got so much work to do. But Adam, yes, they're on their way. They're on their way. Andy 8 Bally says, hi, thanks for your help with those books today. Andy, my pleasure. Good seeing you again. Andy was a fortunate soul. He was left a bunch of comics from a relative, and guess what happened to be in those comics? First appearance of Wolverine, Hulk 181. Nothing wrong with that. Luke says, 3B man, as long as you have a CGC submission, Gimli, son of Glowin would be fine. You'll be all right. No problem, Adam. Sweet Mark. See, I told you, it's Murphy's Law. You come in on Saturday and they come a few days later. It just always works out that way. Sean Mitchell says, what about those warping inner wells? What can I say about the warping inner wells? I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm hearing a lot of other YouTubers, a lot of other dealers talking about it. It's very aggravating. Very, very aggravating. What can I say? I also heard they are not standing behind it. They're not going to fix it. Listen, if they were going to fix those, if CGC was going to fix all those problems, those problem slabs, it would cost them a small fortune. Again, last year, a year and a half ago, when they were having those micro cracks on their slabs, they were taking back, I probably sent back close to 200 slabs to get redone. It was a nightmare for me. It was a nightmare for them. They paid for shipping. They paid to reslab them. That's labor costs, product costs, and shipping costs they absorbed to make me happy. But at some point, they finally said, no, enough's enough. We are not going to fix cracks unless they're this big. If they're this big, we're not going to fix it. But if they're this big, we'll fix it. So they started putting stipulations on. I already heard from others that they're not going to do nothing about these warping inner wells. I'm going to tell you, I spoke again with a few guys today, what I think is happening at CGC. The same exact thing that was happening when they had the cracks on their slabs is, I can't say this for sure. Again, I've never been there. I've never been invited to go there. I tried to invite myself there last summer. They told me to buzz off. I think they have a high turnaround there. I think they have people that are working there that obviously know very little about comic books or how to handle comic books. I'm not talking about graders per se, but I'm talking about guys who are unboxing, taking the, unpacking books that are being received, or those are encapsulating the books once they've been graded, things like that. Do these people know how to handle books? Have they been properly trained? And if they've been properly trained, do they give a shit? That's a big thing. Do they give a shit? I can tell you right now, when you drop your books off to me, I can tell you, I love comic books. I give a shit. I don't know who works at CGC in the receiving department. I don't know who works in the shipping department. I have no clue. The folks that I speak to are pretty damn good. There's some great people at CGC I talk to. I love them, but I don't know the inner workings of that place. I really don't. I'm not privy to that. So I can't speak to it. But to me, when those slabs kept getting cracked in that way, to me, they were not being encapsulated or sealed properly. And now with these warped inner wells or books coming back like they haven't even been worked on, like they were all damaged. What's up with that? Like, why is that happening? Why is that happening? I have a quality control at the shop. Books don't leave my shop until I'm satisfied with the way they look. That is not happening at CGC once the books have been slabbed. It can't be, because I'm noticing a big uptick in these warped problems and spine bends, and I'm seeing a lot of other guys complaining too. So it's not just me. And in fact, I wasn't saying much about it, and I started noticing people started complaining about it. So at first I thought, oh, maybe it's a bad batch. It's not a bad batch. There's shit going on over there. There's something happening, and I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Well, Rock City, yeah, from what I understand about the slabbing process, they're just trying to slam shit out. That's a great way to do things, isn't it? To rush. Let's rush it. Let's rush this stuff. Let's get it done. That's why when people say, they ask me a question, again, I can't speak to CCS or I can't speak to CGC's comic pressing service because I've never really used it. But I mean, if they're slamming shit out, as Rock City suggests, that can't be a good thing, right? Rushing is not a good thing in anything, And if they're trying, and especially when you're working with valuables and collectibles, you want to be careful and you want to go not super slow, but you want to work at a good steady pace, but you want to do so in a productive manner and in a safe manner. And there's no way that, you know, if they're slamming shit out, as you say, that things are being done, they're cutting corners. And then when you cut corners and shit's going by fast, that's what happens. You have problems like this. You get cracked slabs, you get warped inner wells, and that's the problem, I think. Again, that's my assumptions. I don't work there. I've never been there, but that's my assumption. And I think you nailed it on the head there. Bad Hombre, they will start making changes once PSA. Well, you know what? That's what I'm thinking too. They're going to have to. And don't think for a second they don't know. They're not hearing all this shit. They're not hearing all the problems that people are complaining about. Okay? Supposedly PSA is going to be photographing the books when they come in. Unsure if clients will have access to those upon request, but we'll see how long that lasts. Again, it's time. It's time, right? I don't take photos myself. I'd love to. I'm thinking about getting one of those scanners that kind of goes really fast ones, and I can scan the books as they come in as well. I might. I'm not sure. Is Danny Nunez still there? I don't believe so. What did Danny do again? Was Danny in Danny was in shipping, right? Danny was shipping, if I remember correctly. He is gone. He is gone. He was there for a really long time. And he understood how my books, my packages had to be. And then when the new person, it's a what's her name? There's an M. A new lady works there now. Took over as shipping manager. It was a learning curve for her to get my books. There was a few screw ups when she sent me the books. You know, she was in charge of all that, and they got on top. But things are kind of back to normal now. But it took a while. But Danny, you know, when someone works there for a long time, they figured it out. They even got rid of what's his name, Jose in accounting, and he was great. And they got rid of Jose as well. And they overworked that guy. The poor guy was all by himself. Him and Barbara. I think Barbara's still there. But I mean, yeah, it's. And again, I'm just spewing names. I've never met these people in person. I met Josh for the first time, Signature Series at San Diego. I met Ashley at San Diego, and I've talked to them on the phone. It was very quick, mind you, but I met them. But I've never been to the facility. I don't know why they wouldn't. Again, I say I don't know why they wouldn't want me there. Okay, listen. I want to talk really quickly about. It's already 47 minutes in. I got another whole box to share with you. Before we get there, though, yeah, Rob, he was shipping. I want to talk to about the lawsuit. So as you know, last week or the week before, CGC was hammered with a verdict. They had to pay 10 million. Well, they lost. The amount was $10 million in damages and defamation lawsuit. I say defecation. Defamation lawsuit. Not a defecation law. That'd be a different kind of lawsuit. That'd be a stinky kind of lawsuit, wouldn't it? But it was a defamation lawsuit, $10 million. And let me give you the rundown of what exactly happened. As far as I understand it, this company was sending books to CGC to grade. They were a restoration company. Nothing wrong with that. There are restoration companies out there. And what I understand happened is, and I'll mention it, Matt Nelson at the time was not the president. He was head grader at the time. He went on, he took it upon himself to go to an online forum. I imagine it was the CGC boards probably or something like that. And he basically criticized this company's work. What they did, the product they produced, the final restored comic. He was critiquing them, and he wasn't critiquing them in a very positive way. So the company sent the books to CGC in goodwill, as far as I know, to grade the books. Matt Nelson saw the books. I guess they graded the books, but then he went on to a public forum, mentioned the company by name, and then attacked the company. Wow. How stupid can you be? Right? Like, no offense, that was a real dumb thing to do. In case I'm missing something, and if I'm missing something, I'm missing something. But if that's the gist of it, why on earth would a company whose client sends them books in good faith, why would you go to an open forum, mention this client, and then start attacking the work they do? And my biggest problem with that was CCS existed at that time. They were owned by, I don't know if CCS was owned by CGC. I think they were at that time. They were in direct competition with this company, right? Think about it. CCS does restoration work. CCS does restoration removal work. They do pressing and cleaning and all that kind of stuff. So you have one company who has the power of grading, right? Who also does restoration work, attacking another restoration company who's hired them to grade books. Big time conflict of interest. Big time conflict of interest. You know, I can't understand why in the hell he would do that. You know, if someone's sending you books in good faith to grade the books, send them back, shut your mouth. Simple as that. Now, if this company was doing something nefarious, or if this company was involved in some kind of illegal activity, it's a different story. But even still, he has no right to go into a public forum and attack them. You call the authorities and let them deal with it, right? You let them deal with it. But you shut your mouth. They sent your books to you to grade. That's it. Not to critique their restoration work. That's none of your freaking concern. It's none of your freaking business. Grade the book, send it back, end of story. You know, and you got to remember, and I think the reason why they were charged so much money, and don't get me wrong, I think 10 million is a little bit overkill, but it was a real slap on the wrist because, again, that's the conflict of interest part of it. CGC call themselves the authority, or they're the authority, collectibles authority. You know, if you're the authority on comic books, and you represent this company, and you're going onto a website or onto a forum and publicly saying this company sucks, well, who are they going to believe? Are they going to believe this small company? Or are they going to believe the authority? The authority. Of course they're going to believe the authority. That was, again, absolutely unethical and totally stupid, and it should not have happened. And if you're competitor, like, hey, I'm a competitor to CGC too. I press comic books. Sometimes I think they look down on other comic book pressers. I don't know why they would, because we still use their surface, and they couldn't do all the pressing themselves, even if they want to. Let's be honest. If CGC were to go out and publicly say, you know, the comic doctor destroys comic books, if he said something like that, then yeah, that's going to hurt my business, don't you think? And that's not right. It's not right. It's not right. So yeah, they should have. They really made a real mistake there. I think the 10 million was again. I think it was a slap on the wrist, and I think it was also a warning to other, you know, conglomerates and big corporations. When people give you stuff in confidence, you keep your mouth shut. You keep people's information confidential, right? Now, I talked today about, you know, I talked about Spiro, and I talked about, you know, a lot of you guys know me, and I know Mark was on here with his Ronin books and all that stuff, and I'll say stuff because I know you guys, but I'll tell you, there are clients whose books you never see on the show, never ever. They ask, Kevin, no problem, you know? Or if I know a client is very, very sticky about that, I will not mention their names. I might show their books, but no one will know where those books came from or where they're going, right? Because it's no one's business. When I bring up, but I'll tell you, 95% of my clients want to see their books on YouTube. They get excited to see their stuff on YouTube. They want to show their kids. They want to show their families. They want to get on here and enjoy themselves. So, yeah, there it is. What do you think? Am I whistling Dixie? Do you agree? Awesome show. Thanks for everything. I'm the Spidey that was at Montreal with Black Cat. Much appreciated. No problem at all. Good seeing you. Rob Bin, $5 million for lost profits and another $5 million in punitive damages. Okay. $5 million. That's a lot of. I've never made $5 million doing this, but whatever. It is what it is. I think the punitive damages is good. You know, you can't go around doing that. You can't go around spewing bullshit about other people or companies, right? You can't do it. JSS Brooklyn says CGC appealed the jury finding, but most likely will ultimately lose. They're probably going to lose. Will they get dinged for 10 million? Probably not. But they're going to have to hand over a hefty amount. Now, what does this mean to you? What does this mean to me? You know, I think this sort of thing happening is not good. It's not good for a couple of reasons. You know, I talked about this yesterday with someone. This has not been a good year for CGC. Right? We all know there's a lot of scandals, and now this, you know, they kind of combat it with a cool service or whatever, and, you know, to bring their prices down and that sort of thing. If this goes through, the prices probably will go up, I would think, but they can't. They got to watch. They got to be careful about the pricing too, because if PSA comes out and undercuts them, what are they going to do if they're, you know, 30% more? So they got to be careful. They're on a tightrope a little bit. I think they're going to be fine. Don't get me wrong. Really, what this lawsuit means to grading, absolutely nothing. I mean, the lawsuit means nothing. It just means that someone made a really stupid mistake, a real dumb judgment call, and was talking about shit they shouldn't have been talking about. That's all it really is. It doesn't really reflect on their grading or what have you. It's just another notch, another hit to a company that's already been, overwhelmed with scandal this whole year. And now this is kind of the icing on the cake, right? It kind of makes us think, is this company really all it's cracked up to be? If people like that work there, and this guy is now the president of the company, this guy who made this judgment call, this guy who went out there and attacked this other company, he's the president of this company. And that also, I look at what these guys do. I don't know if I got into this last week or not. All these people that work at CGC, most of the people that work at CGC are comic book fans. Matt Nelson was a comic book fan. He has no formal training in paper restoration. I don't believe he does. I looked it up. It doesn't, not from what I could find. He is a fan, a self-taught fan. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm self-taught myself. Okay? But, what makes him more of an authority than anybody else who's been collecting comics for the last 30 years? Seriously collecting comics, Like I know guys like here in town, like Peter over at Paradise Comics in Toronto. The guy's been in the business for years, decades. The dude knows his comics. You know what I mean? He knows his comics. I've been pressing books now for 12 years, 13 years. I've seen a lot of books. I see what CGC. I think I have a pretty good understanding of how to grade a book. Or I'm pretty good at calling what can be done to a book. Yeah, but I am not. I don't claim. Am I an expert? Am I an expert? Sure. But I just there's this arrogance that I think some people have because they happen to be employed somewhere or they happen to be aligned with somebody, and you got to be careful, man. You just can't go around attacking other people. You just can't do it. I've been told to, in business especially, don't worry about what your competition is doing. Just do your best. Keep working. So if Matt Nelson was attacking this company in a way to make his company look better, stupid. It was a dumb thing to do. Anyways, again, I don't have Matt Nelson here. He can't speak for himself. He probably wouldn't speak about it anyways because of the whole lawsuit and everything. But it was just a real dumb mistake. It's a real shame. And it does, I think it just kind of hurts CGC's name a little bit more. Right at the time when PSA is starting to kind of get ready to pounce, right? It's interesting. Okay, okay. I jumped around here. Sorry, guys. Woo, you guys had a lot of comments here. It's interesting. I want to read some of these. JSS says, CGC appealed that we did that already. Exactly, Rob. JSS says, Brooklyn, if anything, they won't be able to prove punitive isn't worthwhile. Gord Henderson, and yet this guy is now running the show. Exactly. It's interesting. Well, and JSS Brooklyn says, well, right. But since the jury found it, it's done. As a matter of law and on appeal, it's a weak appeal and it'll fail. Derek says, Kevin, my friend, do you deal with sending figures to get graded? Also, meant to ask you, no, I do not get into doing AFA figures. I know nothing about that. And I probably don't want to get into it, to be honest with you. I heard it's a bit of a wait. Yeah, I don't. I can tell you where to go. I can give you instructions on how to contact them and who to call, but I don't personally do it, no. Derek says, I want to see the awesome work you do on here. I'll do my best. I'll do more. I'll try. Rock City JS says, burden of proof is on the complainant to prove loss of profit. Jury trials are most likely to be appealed. Yeah, I have a hard time believing that company was making $5 million in the years that followed. Maybe they did. I don't know, but that's, man, oh man, that's a lot of money. Would it be similar to a local presser sending you press books to submit to CGC and then you critique their pressing skills in your YouTube channel? Exactly. Now, I'll tell you, funny you should say that, because I had a dealer once who needed books done really fast. And if you guys have been with me for any period of time, you know that I've had moments in my career here where my wait times were really bad. During COVID, when COVID first started, I was almost 7 months, 6 months before I'd even touch your books. And then it was another 5 months or 4 months or even longer at CGC. It was madness. Like I said, now we have finally, now I've caught up. With the help of Napur and Charlo and myself, I've actually caught up. I'm going to sneeze. I can't promise I won't sneeze again. Anyways, this dealer wanted books done right away. And I said, listen, I can't do them that quick. But I was following, I'm not going to mention names here. I was following a presser on Instagram. His pictures looked really, really good. I reached out to him. I said, can you fit, say, 150 books in really fast? He goes, yeah, man, yeah. So I packed the books up, like, 3 short boxes, did all the CGC paperwork myself, shipped them off to this dude. He was way out in way out in California, far away. And he did the book, sent them into CGC. I got them all back, and the work was friggin' terrible. Absolutely terrible. I was shocked. I called them up. I said, what the hell, man? The books are all like 9.2, 9.4, 9.2, 9.4. And I could see all the problems he didn't fix. He didn't clean some stuff. I'm like, these are all 9.8s. Why did you not just do the work? And anyways, long story, I was not happy. My buddy wasn't happy. I recommend it. That's why I don't recommend anybody anymore except me, because the guy didn't do the job. He didn't do the job. And this guy spent a lot of money on grading. He spent a lot of money to have them pressed, and it was a big waste of. It was a really wasted time. Now, did I come on here and attack him? Did I come on here and tell people don't use him? No. And I'm going to tell you guys, I see a lot of work. I've seen work from a lot of these YouTube guys. I've seen all kinds of work. I'm not mentioning any names. All I'm saying is, proof's in the pudding. Make sure you see in person. Pictures can be quite deceiving. That's all I can say. But I would never come on here and attack anybody. I just wouldn't. It's not my thing. I think it's bad to do that. That whole thing that's going on with the Cgc'S, with Hero Restoration down in the States. That's a big mess. There's a whole FBI's involved. Guy stole books, whatever. I don't even know the whole story. But, even that, I was very hesitant to even comment on that because I didn't really know what was going on. And I spoke to the guy a few times. He was a nice enough guy, and he had a really good following, and he had a golden reputation. He was interviewed by Comic Tom and Gem Mint, and he was really, he was the presser. He was the researcher. And the guy just, it all went up, man. It all went up in smoke, and he just, books went missing, books got damaged, it was a nightmare. And even then, I still don't talk about it. I can talk about it now because it's kind of out in the open now. But when all the shit was kind of going on, the bad stuff was people were kind of pointing fingers. I stayed out of it. I don't want to get into that. And again, Matt Nelson should have stayed out of it too. I don't know. Again, I'm curious to know why the hell he'd even bring that up. I have no clue. How you doing, 49 Flex? Good to see you. Felix, sorry. JSS says, ROC trial's over. You have to appeal on a matter of law. It'll take a few years. Oh my God, more. And it's nothing to celebrate. Not saying you are. No, I'm not. But it's a long haul for sure. Rock City says, I'm saying they'll spend $500K to not pay that extra $5 million in lost profit because you can't really prove it. Gotcha. You guys know your law better than I do. Where am I here? Oh, sorry. Got to bounce there. Oh, lots of legal talk here. You guys know more than I do. And remember, PSA has been around longer than C. They have been around much longer. Mark says, exciting to see the reveals. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Signpost this year. How you doing, Signpost? This year of humble pie for CGC hopefully makes them better in the end, and that makes it better for our hobby. Nicely said, Signpost. I do agree. I think, listen, they hear everything. They know exactly what people are complaining about every single day. I don't think they come in here and watch my videos per se, but they do hear things. It's a loud voice, YouTube is, and the fandom and us collectors, and they hear it. And hopefully they will make things better. Hopefully they will. If they don't, and if things keep going the way they are, and a better company comes along, a company that's kind of filling the gaps that CGC is leaving behind, then they will eventually overtake CGC. Could it happen? Sure, it could happen. Why not? JSS says, overall, what Mr. Nelson did was reprehensible, and it'll be interesting to see if he retains his position. Well, they haven't got rid of him yet. And listen, they offered him that position while the lawsuit was going on. This is going on for 8 years. He just got that appointment, what, a couple of years ago? Arrogance. 3B man, Luke's happy about his books. I'm glad. We didn't press those books, by the way. They just went in the way they were. Lewis says, Swaggle did a video on San Diego Comic-Con talking to dealers, and one particular dealer expressed his dislike for the head grader for PSA, saying he has had a bad reputation. Yeah, here we go again, right? And I've heard that too. I've heard all kinds of things, but I don't know the details. Swag and I got into it a little bit. We talked a bit about that. He didn't go into great detail, but he kind of alluded to that. And yeah, look, you're not going to make everybody happy all the time. You know, but I will say this, though. Again, I don't know this gentleman's. I've reached out to him, actually, this new head grader at PSA. I've invited him on the show. I don't know if he'll come on. I think it'd be a lot of fun if he did come on. I'm especially interested in hearing what he has to say about, the Canadian market, if it's even a thought in their mind. We'll see if he comes on or not. But I have heard those things, too. I don't know all the details. I am curious to know why, if there is, again, I don't know if there's a scandal. I don't want to say that, but if there's some kind of baggage that goes along with him, I'm curious to know why a company would choose somebody with baggage. That's all I'm saying. And again, I don't know if he has baggage. I don't know the extent of what you're talking about there, but why would a company do that? I remember there was a company. Who was it? There was, I think it was CBCS, was dealing with a company initially in Canada prior to their whole Oakville fiasco, or maybe it was the Oakville company they were working with, because CBCS had a drop-off center in just outside of Toronto. And when I did some research, I found out the company, I think this is I'm right here, the company in which they had chosen to do this for them had all kinds of like fraud allegations and charges. And I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Why, out of all the companies you could choose, out of all the, guys like me, little guys who could grow to take on, like, I think CBCS is stupid. I think CBCS is absolutely dumb. I mean, okay, and I'm not saying it should be me, guys. Again, I told you I don't want to grade books. But I mean, if they would have found a company kind of like mine, I'm not saying me, okay? Again, I'm not saying me, but say it was me. Say they reached out and said, Kevin, we want to start grading books in Canada. They would have lock, stock, and barrel had the Canadian market. Done. I'm going to tell you, all my clients, they say, Kevin, just press the books. I want to take them to CBCS in Oakville. They didn't want to send them to CGC. There were people that wanted that, but CBCS, for some inane reason, felt, and this is before Beckett's even came on board. They partnered up with this company that they were out of Montreal, I think. Again, this is old information. It's been a while now. And they partnered with these guys who have this baggage, this legal baggage. I'm thinking, why would you go to bed with these people? They have a bad rap. That's all I'm saying. So going back to what you were saying, that some people kind of have trepidation about him. My question is why? Because I don't know what that trepidation is. If it is something serious, then I think PSA is crazy. Seriously, it's like, you don't hire certain. I mean, look, some companies don't. Why do companies ask for? I'm a teacher. Why you don't think they ask for criminal reference checks when I, go for a job as a teacher? Of course they do. Every year they ask for a criminal reference check. And if I have a criminal, something happens to me where I get arrested or I have a criminal record, guess what? I think there's grounds for dismissal, depending on what the charge is, I think. But yeah, so. Why would a company that's dealing with millions of dollars not feel the same way? Why would you not, vet these people and make sure they're squeaky clean before you let them in? I don't understand that. I couldn't understand why CBCS was doing that. I couldn't understand that. The one thing that CBCS or even PGX, who I forget them now, but I mean CBCS, they had a chance to take Canada to have all of Canada. Seriously, they would have taken the market share if they would have had a location in Canada where they were grading books. Where the books did not, again, I'm saying it again, where books did not have to leave the country, but they didn't. They could have even put a little Canadian symbol on the friggin' slabs so people know the books were graded up here. If that's if that's an issue, you know, if, oh, we want to differentiate, whatever. But they didn't do that. They never will do that. Is PSA going to do that? I don't know. We'll see. I'm surprised he hasn't been fired already, unless he has a stake. Where'd it go? I just think he's bouncing around. Where'd it go? It hasn't been fired already, unless he has a stake they don't want to disclose. Who knows? He's been around for a long time. He was there at the beginning, wasn't he? I think. Apologies. One more legal point. What's interesting is insurance will wind up paying. That's what I was going to say. They have insurance policies for this, right? That's why you have insurance policy in case you get sued, right? Even on your own home insurance. If someone slips and breaks their neck on your front stoop and they sue you, they're suing your insurance company. So that's what I said the other day, too. It's not like CGC is going to be paying for this out of their coffers. It's going to be mostly insurance paying it off, right? So there you go. Don't know Silver Snail has taken hit over the years. Their store was huge. New one seems so small now, makes me sad. The days of Silver Snail are gone. I remember the Queen Street Silver Snail, man. When I was a kid going to Toronto, it was a big deal to go to the Snail. I would send my dad with a list of comics to buy me for Christmas, and where'd he go? To Silver Snail. Yeah, it was definitely a Toronto landmark in the comic scene. It's sad that it is no longer the company it once was. Silver Snail's booth used to be huge during previous fan expos. Now seems CBA has taken 100%. Rock City says, I would look into when they upped their insurance. If they did, normally it's easier to pay for insurance if you know you're going to screw people other than pay yourself. True enough. Hey, Ryan, how's it going? Mikey, good to see you. Yo. Did you mail that box out today? Did it get out? I didn't know if you sent it out or not. That's the biggest key here in regards to competition against CGC. PSA is the first big boy. All other grading companies were startups. It's true. And that's why I say that PSA's got to stand on its 2 feet. Don't put a blue label on there. You're PSA. Use your own friggin' label. And, you know, you change the industry. You change the way people think about grading. You just plow forward. That's my thoughts on the matter. As soon as you start kind of trying to mimic what CGC has done, you're kind of kowtowing to CGC. You're kind of saying that, yeah, they are the industry leader. You know, you want CGC to change their blue labels to white. That's what you want to do, right? JSS, don't worry, buddy. It's good information. Roxy says, normally corporate moves are made by lawyers paid on contingency. I apologize as well. No, legally it's fine, man. It's just fun. It was a very cool. I want to talk about it last week. I was going to bring a couple of guests on. I decided not to. Just do it myself and talk to you guys about this. I knew you all would have your own opinions on this. And by the way, I have another big box going out. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to get to that in a second. I'll get through some of these comments here. Luke says, I hope to come by the Saturday to drop off for Fan Expo. Oh, this Saturday. Yeah, please do. Again, guys, if you want a celebrity, I'm talking about a famous Hollywood movie star to sign one of your books at Fan Expo Toronto, I need the books by Monday, this Monday, because next week's going to be a very busy week for me as I prepare to go to the show, and I will not be taking books beyond Monday, okay? Back 40 says the head guy in question is the father of a popular content creator here on YouTube. Yeah, Collector's Comics. There's a pretty good interview out there. Collector's Comics, I think. Yeah, it's his name. It's Dave, I think, and it's his father who got the job. And they talk. His dad seems like a nice enough guy, you know. Again, I don't know all the. Look, there's so many these guys who've been in this business for a long time. You're gonna burn bridges. Not everyone's going to get along. So again, I don't know what happened. Look, if it's because someone doesn't like him, who gives a shit? I don't care if you don't like somebody, big deal. People don't get along. That's fine. My problem is if you do something that's unscrupulous, if you do something unethical, right? You mentioned how you're surprised Matt Nelson didn't get fired for this. I'll be honest. I kind of feel the same way. And I'm surprised they gave him the presidency knowing that this was still looming in the background. That was a pretty stupid thing to do. Again. I'd like to hear it from the horse's mouth. I'm reading an article. I'm hearing a YouTube video on what happened. I want to hear. Maybe I don't have the whole story myself, and maybe Matt's not as guilty as it might seem. But a jury sure seemed to think he was. That's all I can say, right? So it is what it is. If I had my druthers, I would have approved cleaner pressers in each area instead of having a base on your facility. Would easily create baseline of quality based. Rock City, you know what? Something like that. If they did that with, we're authorized dealers, right? And I would agree. They should have authorized pressers too. And if that means they come to my facility and vet my facility, do it. Do it. Of course, do it. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And I also said this before. I think CGC has way too many dealers on their website. It's ridiculous. Most of the dealers on there are not really dealers. They're just dudes who want the discount. Sending their own books in, maybe 20, 30, 40 books a year. Well, how does that make somebody a dealer? I'm sending in thousands of books a year. You know, why is my name not, you know, on there more? You know, that's very aggravating to me. That whole Grosvenor thing does kind of piss me off too. I don't like that, you know, myself, and I'll speak to, you know, I'll mention Gotham Central, Carlo out in Mississauga. We're all Signature Series facilitators. Why are we not put on the, you know, why does it have just Grosvenor there? Why isn't his name on there and my name on there? We're both going to be at Fan Expo. We're all paying. I just spent $1,000 on a freaking banner. They didn't pay for my banner. I paid for it, and they can't even put me on their website as being an authorized facility drop-off center. So I got to do all the advertising myself. That kind of irritates me a little bit. But what can I say? That's what I'm trying to say. I want respect from the companies I do business with. That's what I want, first and foremost. You know, if PSA can give me that, I'll go. If I'm given the respect as a dealer, sending books to you, and you know, I went and got my own witness shirts made for CGC as a CGC, and I paid $100 for those myself. Why didn't they just put 5 shirts in the mail and send them to me? Nope, I paid for them. Why am I paying for it? Anyways, things like that just kind of drive me nuts. It should be, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Rob Bins, apparently the third-party grader was meticulously color-touching books. They were so good at it that CGC was having a very difficult... Well, I didn't say grading necessarily. No, I didn't say grading. Pressing, I think is what he's saying, right? You say pressing? You say cleaners and pressers. Grading's a different thing. Now, if CGC is going to have a CGC North or CGC Toronto, it's CGC. And those people are trained and they are working for CGC. There's no color touch, all that baloney going on. Right? And no conflict of interest. You're not getting your own books graded, your friends' books, that kind of stuff. I don't think books that are going to CGC should have people's names on it. Don't think for a second Mr. Comic Connect they didn't know it was his book going in when they graded his giant size X-Men number 1 9.9. You don't think for a second they knew it was his book? Unethical. Don't tell me for a second they did not know that was his book. Graders should be looking at books blind. They should not know who owns what books. Period. End of story. That's it. And I don't think for a second that's what's happening. Let's not get me started on that one. Silversdale would have artists come in from time to time and do signings for free. For sure they would, 100%. Yes, sir, mailed the package. Thank you very much, Ryan. Excellent. We'll keep our eye on that. Jive Turkey, see how you doing? Rock City, regular lawyer, works on contingency, no money down. Lionel Hutz works on contingency, no money down. Jive Turkey, oh, trust me, BlackRock doesn't hire lawyers for no money down. They pay them for the money they save them in lawsuits. Grosvenor got my books from March Comic Con for 6 series. I got them end of June. March, April, May, June. That's not bad, actually. Oh, wait, March Comic Con. That's a long time. Jive Turkey, it was a Simpsons reference because Comic-Con books, like I said, I've got Montreal Comic-Con books back from June. Was it Montreal? Was the first one I did? Montreal was in June, end of June. Those books are pretty much coming back right now as we speak. And then I did, what did I do? Oh my God, so friggin' old. I did Montreal and I did another show. Oh, no, Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls I did. Those books are all back. And that was June, I believe. And then later in June was Montreal. Or no, it was early July was Montreal. And they're all coming back. They're going to be back. I think they're all downstairs. They're here. They're at my place. So there you go. Yeah, March, April, May, June. 3 months. No, that's not good. And mine were pressed, clean, and sent out and back. So I like to say that my service for Signature Series, I call it the VIP service, because the books are, as soon as they're signed, they're pressed, they're cleaned, and they're shipped. Bang, done. Roxy says, I think they should just ditch CCS and put out a list of trusted cleaner pressers. They could have saved so much money and headaches. You're probably right. You're probably right. But I think there's a lot of guys, I'm going to tell you. Last comment, and then I'll get to the next box, because I know guys want to see my next big box. Huge box of mags, guys. Don't go anywhere. When I was at Montreal Comic Con, really quick, me and Angelo did that whole discussion, that panel on Canadian price variance and comic book pressing and investing and whatever. You would be shocked at how many people did not know what the hell cleaning and pressing was. And how many people weren't even sure what Canadian price variance were. Now, we all know because we're into the know. We're collectors. We are diehards. But guys who are maybe just kind of getting back into it, or guys that are just getting into it, have no clue. So when they go to CGC and they see pressing, they click the button. They just do it. They don't know there's a presser around the corner, right? And there are pressers around every corner now. We all know that. So I think they probably make a lot of money with their pressing. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I don't know. I'm just saying. But, you know, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if they would send people to vetted pressers. That'd be fantastic. That'd be great. It'd be nice to get some support from them, because their dealer search is shit. It's shit. Doesn't work very well. Get rid of all in-house pressing and cleaning. Might speed things up too, right? Mark says, okay, good luck at Fan Expo, Kev. I've got to finish getting myself ready for yourself. Come by and say hi. I'm in booth 1200, Mark. I'm sure we'll bump into each other. Gordon says, I went to Silver Snail and got my first edition of ElfQuest 1 by the Peenies for free. It was awesome. Back in the day, man. Back in the day, Gord. Rob says, I'm referring to the lawsuit. The presser restoration company was submitting meticulously colored touch books. CGC was having a very difficult time identifying the restoration. So they were submitting books and they were not divulging that they were restored. So okay. That does change things a little bit, but still, if they're doing things and they're trying to be tricky, what you do then is you call them. You talk to them and you say, this has got to stop, because if it's not going to stop, we're going to stop taking your books. You don't open it up to the entire frigging world, right? That's the issue. There's a dealer up here in Toronto who does color touching all the time. He's a color touch king. He's a color touch king, and we all know him. He's notorious for it. What are you going to do, right? Some guys just freaking get off on the color touching. These guys must have been pretty good at it, but still, you shouldn't, you don't go on and, if they're having a hard time finding the color touch, then shame on them. That's their job. They're graders. People are doing all sorts of things trying to get things by CGC, right? We all know that. The whole B-lead thing, the whole page whitening thing, even pressing and cleaning, for crying out loud. It all started, it was all a no-no. Regardless of what a company was trying to do, they did send their books in to get graded, and they did not send their books in to get graded and then be ripped apart on social media or on what do you call it, on a forum. They should have. There are better ways of handling it, and they didn't handle it properly. But thanks for clearing that up, Rob. I appreciate that. They used the forum to warn collectors about that company. That's the problem. Are you at the same booth? Yes, I am, Luke. I am. Okay, guys. Hey, you have a comment about the whole lawsuit thing? Rob did just shine some more information on this. I do appreciate that. I was under the impression that they were restoring books and that they were reglossing books and things like that, and it wasn't a very good job. That's what I heard. That's what I read. But again, I'm hearing things, it could be second, third hand. But that does make a difference. Even still, you can't, be judge, jury, and executioner. You just can't do that. You can't call people out like that these days. You can't disparage somebody. They should have handled that one-on-one. They should have contacted them, said, listen, what's going on here? Why are you submitting all these books like this? This has got to stop, right? And that it could have been solved as simple as that. And then no warning would have been. And then CGC could have put out a warning, but not mention somebody by name. Say, guys, there are companies out there that are doing this sort of thing. Be careful. Look for these things. You know, there are ways of handling it. And by calling out a company by name, they put themselves in a really precarious situation. That's all. And maybe they thought they were doing the right thing. And maybe they were. I don't fly these days. All right, guys. Here we go. Marvel Premiere number 14 and a 7.5. Here we go. I'll show you the books. And I'm probably going to show you these books. Where is it? Main. I'll go like here. I'll do it like this because these are big books. Pretty cool looking books. And a 7.5. I'll put it down here to, I'll go like that. And then we got a Marvel preview with Sherlock Holmes. Wow, and a 9.2 white pager, 1976. These books are incredibly difficult to get in high grade. Full box of these beautiful 1970s gems. Marvel preview number 17 in a 9.2. Black mark. Very clean copies. Wow. Very clean. We're just getting here now, guys. Thank you for showing up. Just finishing off, we did 2 boxes. We had a very lengthy discussion about the whole lawsuit thing. Rob cleared things up, which was pretty cool. Thank you very much for that, Rob. My new legal advisor. There you go. Master of Terror, Marvel preview number 16 and a 9.4 white pager. If you watched tonight's show, what was your favorite book tonight? Because I kind of got a couple of mine. I think you know what my favorite book was. Marvel Premiere 17, another 9.4 white pager. These are Mike's books. These are from out east, Nova Scotia way. Marvel Preview 16, white pager 8.5. Yeah, I can see why. Okay, still a nice copy, very nice copy. I think he's trying to get this entire run in 9 or better, I believe. We have a 9.0, number 18 from 1979, 9.0. Get rid of that reflection for you. I'm gonna stack them right here. Another copy of that in an 8.5. Oh, we got some wrestling books here. We got some wrestling books. All right, we have an 8.0 copy of WrestleMania from 1985. This book was rough. Not bad, 8, because it was a really rough book. And then we have another WrestleMania, which I think was also pretty rough. And this is WrestleMania 2, no, WrestleMania 3. You guys remember WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3? I remember all that. From 1987. Man, wrestling, Hulk Hogan was huge when I was in high school. You know, grade 10, grade 11. Remember when they used to have those late night WrestleMania shows after Saturday Night Live at 1 o'clock in the morning? On Saturday nights, they'd have these late night wrestling shows. Man, that was a lot of fun. You remember those? What was that called? There was a name. It wasn't WrestleMania. It was another name for it. Like Saturday Night Main Event or something like that. I forget, but it was fun. Marvel Preview 16, 9.6. White pager. Full box of mags, guys. 9.2 copy. Marvel Preview number 2, Origin of the Punisher. 9.2 right there. Full box of lovely magazines. Beautiful magazines. 9.6 white pager, Marvel Preview 19, Cull the Destroyer. Very cool. Saturday night's main event. Yeah, man. My brother used to work at a restaurant and he would always get back late on Saturday nights. I'd stay home. I'd watch my Saturday Night Live, grade, 1986, 1987, probably 86, 85. And he'd stop at McDonald's or whatever, bring us back some Big Mac and fries and a Coke, and we'd sit there and watch Saturday night's main event until the wee hours of the morning. And it was a lot of fun. Marvel Preview 19, another Cull book and a 9.4. Second copy of that. Man, these magazines are heavy. Finally, a 9.8. White Pager. Marvel Preview number 9. Man God. Origin, Man God, and Starhawk, 9.8. I'd like to know how many of those are out there. Rob Bid says, I wonder if CGC used the forum to warn collectors that some Color Touch books may have slipped through. Perhaps. I believe they called the company by name. Because listen, if they would have said that, just that, there's no grounds for nothing. No one's being accused of anything. From what I understand, they actually mentioned them by name, and that's where it gets sticky, right? Because remember, it was Matt Nelson's opinion. It was the grader's opinion at that time. Now, I'm not saying they were wrong. I'm not saying I'm not saying that they were wrong, but it was an opinion. And sometimes you got to keep your opinion to yourself. 9.6. I warn people on my channel. I come on here and I warn people about shit that I see and experience. If I see something going, that looks nefarious, I'll bring it up. I don't bring up people's names. I don't bring up other companies. Like I said, I'll warn people, but I will be as vague if I have to. Now, if someone calls me directly and asks me straight up, and they want my opinion about a certain company, I'll give them my 2 cents worth. I'm not going to put it on a record or anything like that. But you got to be smart. You're in business. You're a corporation. 8.0. Marvel Preview presents Merlin in number 22. What a stack of mags. Holy cow. This is a heavy stack. We have an 8.5 at number 15. Right there. It's cool to see all these magazines. I agree. Last I looked, Color Touch could easily be discerned by a simple black light pass, but I could be wrong. I had that question come in today, actually. Can you detect Color Touch with a black light or with a light or whatever? Listen, some Color Touch, yes, it glows. Some of it glows yellow if you hit it with a black light. But there's some Color Touch that doesn't. You got to be very, very careful. You need a good eye. You need a really, really good eye. I'll bring Carlo up. I'm not sure if Carlo's here tonight, if he's watching the show, but he had a book he brought in last time that came back with a restored grade. And he said, Color Touch? ? They said it was color touched. He gave me the book. We got to his books today, and the poor brought it over and said, well, there is Color Touch on it right here. And I said, yeah. And then I looked over and it's here, and it's here, and it's here, and it's here. I found like 4 or 5 spots of Color Touch. Carlo, he's been into comics for a long time. It evaded him, right? He thought there was no Color Touch on it, but there is. There definitely is Color Touch on it. So, would a black light, and I'll tell you, a black light wouldn't have caught this particular Color Touch. It was dull. You could just tell, and it leaked through the book too. There's other telltale signs, right? It's pretty hard to hide Color Touch. It really, if you've got a good eye and you know comics, it's hard. Sometimes the only time it's hard, the one I find where I'll get tricked is if it's such a minute amount. Such a minute amount, it could be even questioned whether or not it's there or not. You know what I mean? That's how minute it has to be. If Color Touch is there, it's usually in more than one place, and or it's extremely minute. It's almost indiscernible. All right, we got a Marvel Preview 13. UFO Connection 7.5. That's a cool looking book. Mike, some of your books are here, bud. You got to rewind the video. Some of your books are up. Marvel Preview number 9, another one, the third one. You got 2 9/8 in this book and a 9/6. Hopefully this book is worth millions of dollars because you got 2 copies and 9/8. So there you go, guys. That's the boxes. Boy, this is a heavy table now. I've got another 4 or 5 CGC boxes in the wings. Like I said, if I've got time on Thursday, I'll try to come back on. It'll be a last minute video. Hit that notification bell before you leave. Hit that subscribe button too. Oh, by the way, I haven't talked about this yet. When I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to give out vouchers, 10 vouchers for free modern grading at CGC. So I'll send 10 books of CGC modern books on me to be graded, and I'll pay for shipping back and forth as well. How about that? Pretty good deal. And when I hit 10,000 subscribers, and only you can help me get there, guys, I'll give out 25 vouchers for a modern grading as well. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button on your way out. Don't forget. Let's take some more questions, and then we will get the heck out of here. I've been going for about an hour and a half, just over. 10 million sticky row, which means CGC's fed up in due diligence. Mike's already here. Hello, Rock City. I'm talking about the bare minimum of the detecting color touch. Normally the inks don't match. Sorry, that was, you're right. You'll have a glossy area and a dull area. That's usually the telltale sign. There's different ways to use color. You can use marker. You can use acrylic paints or paints of some kind. You can use inks. There's all kinds of different. I've seen pencil crayon. And by the way, I think comic book collecting is one of the one areas where color touch is frowned upon. You know, those ladies are on Instagram. They restore movie posters. They're using pencils and paints and everything to color touch their posters, and it's totally acceptable. But in comic book collecting, no way, Jose. All right, Luke's going. Another great show, Kev. Thanks. Signpost. You're very welcome. Bad Hombre Preview 9.8, about $200. Okay, not bad. Not great, but not bad. Guys, I'm out of here. Listen, again, if you're in town this weekend, I'm in town. I'll be at my shop this Saturday from 11 till 2. I'll be there doing pre-screening. Try to keep it at 15 books, no more than 15 books. Free of charge. You come on in. You can drop off books for pressing. Great time to do so. Only like about a 1 month, 6 week, 4 week, 5 week turnaround time. I'll be there taking books for that. I'll be also there taking books for any signature series submissions you want me to take into Fan Expo on your behalf. Also, Kevin Eastman's coming, and Lou Ferrigno and some other people. So this Saturday, come on and see me. If you want to sub books, make sure you go over to my website and fill out a submission form and follow the instructions that I gave last night in the video I did here on YouTube. Rock City says, I was talking either failure on CCS process or someone taking a cut by letting that one shot basically take pass. That's not good. Yeah, again, that's all bullshit. That's all ridiculous insider nonsense, right? Favoritism, nepotism, unethical behavior. Absolutely inexcusable and not appropriate for the business we're in. On that note, guys, I hope you have a fantastic night. I'll probably see you again on Thursday. Until next time, have a great night. Take care. Thanks for sticking with me for this long show. I certainly appreciate it. And we'll see you again soon right here on the Comic Doctor YouTube channel. Until next time, my friends, have a very good night.